Let's go, everybody. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the LA Poker Roundup. As always, I am your host, Ty Dobberton, along with my co-host, Derek Kwan.
What is up, everyone?
See, Derek has a sharp new setup for his background there. Nice plant, bringing a little bit of life to the background. It is July 1st, 2025. This is episode 88. We are in the eve of the WSOP main event, which a lot of LA blasters are in Vegas for right now. I know Derek's going to be heading back up there in a couple days. I think I may be actually skipping this year, but maybe we'll talk about that later. In the meantime, it's been a few weeks. We've been busy. We've been back and forth between the World Series and here, as many of you have been, and our number one field reporter, Mr. Frank Lynn, has been hard at work keeping track of as many blasters as he can in the World Series and making sure that you all get your props. So we have here, hey Jeremy, we have here in front of us a ridiculous list of as many LA blasters that we could find, that Frank could find, that have been cashing and doing well up at the series. So let's start going through that. It's going to take a while. I'll bring it up on the screen here, read off as many names as I can, and then other topics we have for you tonight. I know we've got a really exciting show for you. We just had to come back. We were going to wait until the Legends schedule popped up online, and you know what? It did, but we're hard at work trying to find it again. It looks like it disappeared, so we're trying to find it. I did take a quick peek. I did look at the overall outline. We'll be able to talk about that, but we may not be able to bring it up for you. But we decided to come back, do the show tonight anyways, just to stay a little bit caught up so that our first show back with LA in swing won't be just catching up on the World Series. So there's been a lot of crazy stories going on down at the World Series that we really wanted to talk about. Things, for instance, about the controversy at the end of the Millionaire Maker tournament, so quote unquote collusion, the slash awkward force chopped, or the, according to them, nothing, they just were playing poker, and the WPT Gold promo that played into that, which definitely had a massive impact on the dynamics of that heads up. And then just recently, today or maybe yesterday night, the poker Twitter is abuzz with a provision in the new tax law that's going through Congress soon that would absolutely destroy and devastate professional gamblers, absolutely make high-stakes gambling, high-limit slots that would crush. It would really is probably going to hurt casino revenue overall, but just absolutely destroy the dream, honestly, of being like an advantage gambler in any way. So we're going to talk about that as well. And then, like I said, we will go over what we remember if we can't find the schedule that was up before for the Legends. So let's hop into these results. All right. I'm going to zoom in a little on this, and hopefully you guys who are watching can follow along, but I will read along as well. Now, last time we did an episode, I believe the mystery man going to read a lot, so I'm not going to know just from his name whether we left off here or not. So why don't I start event number 5, the $5,000 pot limit Omaha 8-handed, had 757 entries. Alan Lee got 102nd place. Noel Rodriguez got 6th. Fantastic final table for Noel Rodriguez. Event number 6, the limit 7-card stud, the $1,500 limit 7-card stud, had 377 entries. That was so cashed. Frankie Odell got 50th, and Craig Chait got 28th. Congrats to you guys. Event number 8, 1,500 Dealer's Choice 6-handed, had 597 entries. Cashers from LA here. We have Carol, is it Fuchs or Fox? Carol Fuchs for 87th, Linda Tran for 75th, Alan Lee 20th, and Gina Hecht in 17th. Congrats, all you mixed game grinders. Event number 9, the $10,000 limit Omaha High-Low 8 or Better Championship 8-handed. Alan Lee 14th. It feels like he cashed every single mixed game event. I mean,
Yeah, crazy.
he went high in one of these fantasy drafts. I think he's earning his points. All right, event number 10, the $600 no limit hold'em deep stack massive event, 6,000 entries. A lot of blasters cashing in this one. So Raymond Ho 900th, Hike Kurumian 814th, Frank Lynn number 1 field report 775, Robert Gill 774, Paul Heiser 677, Alfred Cho 561, Guy Haviv 530th, Nikhil Guerra 290th, Jared Griner 249th, Kevin Song 163rd, Lang Lee 159th, and Baby Shark Gollins, Christina Gollins 138th, Gary Blackwood, which I guess we've adopted because he plays cashier now. Fourth place, Kenneth Kim, local grinder. Oh, you know what? We may have been past you. I remember talking about him. Local cash grinder, I believe plays down at Hustler a lot. First place gets a bracelet. Way to go, Kenneth Kim. All right. Event number.
Yeah, he also won. Got a banner on the bike for something. I think one of the megas.
Right. Yep. He already has his banner up, and now he has a bracelet. Number 11, event number 11, the $10,000 No Limit Hold'em Mystery Bounty, 8-handed, cashing Danny Wong, 76th, Peter Cross, 75th, and Mohammed Pourmandi in 36th. Event 12, the 1500 No Limit Deuce to 7, single draw low ball, 7-handed. Barry Greenstein, 47th, and Sean SFYU, 9th. Congrats to you two, and
wow.
Yep, Barry still got it. All right. Moving on to another No Limit Hold'em, 1500 No Limit 6-handed event. Michael Yang getting 339th. Angela Defoe, 307th. Fausto Valdez, 292nd. Benjamin Moon, 197th. Alex Avila, 179th. Arash Ganin, I probably said that terrible, sorry, 178th. Anthony Marquez, 148th. Dewey Dong, 79th. Sandeep Pulasani, 53rd. And Nan Chen, 39th. Way to go. Good showing,
Nice.
guys.
You want me to do a next three to save you a little bit
Oh,
of?
please do. Do you have it up in front of you, or can you read it from what I got here?
I can see the
All
next
right,
bunch.
Go for it.
All right, so next, number 14, event number 14, 25K, No Limit Hold'em, PLO High Roller 8-handed. We did have no blasters in the money, unfortunately, so we'll move on to the next one. 1500 Omaha 8 or better 7-handed, event number 15 with 1,239 entries. Brian Hunkins, 185th. Michael Nori, 145th. Gina Hecht, 113th. Igor Zexter, who we'll be hearing a little bit more about shortly, 95th. James Woods, 68th. Event number 16, $600 pot limit Omaha deep stack 8-handed. Noel Rodriguez, there he is again, the man, 444th at 1201. Nipun Java, 434, 1201. So I guess we're going to keep Nipun as an honorary blaster for life. And Brian Hunkins, 54th, for 3836.
All right, nice job, Brian. All right, let me jump back in this No Limit Hold'em. Event 17, $2,000 No Limit Hold'em. Paul Heiser, 235th. Norer, I should let you keep it. Norer Mendian, 228th. Sohal Khalili, 208th. Fausto Valdez, 162nd. Andrew Ostapchenko, 155th. Nick Phoenix, 148th. Barry Greenstein, 120th. Angela Defoe, 99th. Elvin Bayo Santos, 89th. And Mike Nia, 21st. What a showing. Nice job, Mike. And then I'll take the next one. It's a quick one. $10,000 Dealer's Choice Championship. Alan Lee, 13th. All right. Can you see that Colossus list? Go for it. I'll take it if it goes to the next page. Yeah, I'll take it if we got someone who finished higher than 297th. I'll take the next page.
All right. So let's go. Colossus. Cody Bell, 2,318th. Here we go. Gonna be a long one. Anthony Kim, 2,149th. Tweak Win, 2,123rd. Polly Wu, 2,105. Nan Chen, 2097. Ben Moon, 1941. Angela Defoe, there she is again, 1894. Ji Chung, 1808. Sean Jazeri, 1630. Sean Gill, 1408. Nick Phoenix, 1361. Mr. Matt Salzberg, 1254. Rob Gill, 1139. Alex Farahi, 856th. Alfred Cho, 738th. Arash Guinean, 713th or 3rd. There he is. Elvin Santos, 584th. Tongwin Sung, 558th. Here's the man, Jeremy Hamey, 518th. Jeremy Hamey cashed in just about everything this World Series so far. He's going to break through and get a big one. Anastasia Knapp, 493. Pete Hanks-Gaskell, 466. Another honorary blaster for life. Tui Win, 358th. Albin Bello, 326th. And Hike Kirumian, 297th.
Okay, now continuing still on the Colossus, Paul Heiser, 290th, Kirk Acevedo, 233rd, Paul Wynn, 231st, John Sull, 220th, Saeed El Harak, 37th, and David the Dragon Pham, 13th. Good job, everybody there.
36K, nice score.
All right, off of the Colossus, which was a $500 entry this year. I think it was $400 last year, right? Event number 20. $1,500 No Limit Hold'em Shootout. Thomas Zano, 61st. All right, as if he needed to win any more money this year. All right, Mr. Mystery Bounty. Kevin Song, 50th, and Mir Gaskari, 35th. Way to go, guys.
Nice work.
Event 21, 1,500 pot limit Omaha 8 or better, 8-handed. Nam Lee, 117th, and Igor Zexter, 63rd. Event 22, 25K, no limit hold'em, high roller six-handed. We did not have any blasters. Cash that one. All right. You want to take it 23?
1500 Limit Badugi, Valentin Vorniku, 80th, Nam Lee, 70th. Man, Nam Lee, I guess we should have probably, I don't know, is he on Poker Stake? I feel like we should have got a piece of this
Right,
guy.
or drafted him in a fantasy league, anyways.
Yeah. 1500 Pot Limit on my double board bomb pot, eight-handed, Brian Hunkins. There he is again, 171st. Who is Brian Hunkins
I know
anyway?
Brian. You don't know Brian? He's got some tattoos, beard, nice guy, big dude.
Oh, that's wow. Brian's showing up all over this.
Yeah, he's an
these
Omaha
results.
guy actually. We only play Hold'em, so we see him there, but he likes Omaha.
Oh. Ari Engel, 163rd. Alex Massman, 135th. Igor Zexter, again, 46th. Danny Wong, 4th. Nice score for Danny Wong, 99K.
Gonna have to ask him how to play double board bomb pods. It's the way to make money in cash games these days.
Yeah, looks like no blasters in the Limit 7 Card Stud Championship. And then just a single result and a good one in the 25K no limit hold'em high rollers. Andrew Ostapchenko, there's the man with the biggest score yet at 1.299 million, taking second place. Congrats to Andrew, unbelievable score. I watched a bunch of that final table too. This guy just really good poker player.
I think we can round that to 1.3 million. I'm comfortable
Yeah,
doing
it's
that.
1.3.
Yeah, well done,
1.3.
Andrew. Well done. All right, event 27, the 1500 pot limit Omaha Big O, 8 or better. That, once again, like I said, this man loves his cards. Brian Hunkins cashed this one 178th. Ari Engel, 76th. Michael Newry, 64th. Barry Greenstein, 47th. And Igor Zexter, another name you've heard, first place. All right, I'm not familiar with the Zexter by name, but congrats. If he's an LA Blaster, that looks like he got himself a bracelet for 297K. Let's go. Do you know Igor Zexter? Oh, I think you're muted, Derek. I don't hear anything.
Yeah, I do. One of my pretty deep runs in one of the megas, man, this dude just, I think I folded a massive hand with aces against what I felt was like a turn set of kings, and then he flopped a straight against my aces a little bit later on. Took so many pots off me in that tournament. It was really, really frustrating. But yes, unfortunately, I do know who he is.
Now
But
he also has a
congratulations to him.
bracelet, so you can be super jealous.
Yeah.
All right. Event 28, no limit hold'em, pot limit Omaha, 8-handed. Cashing Camille Brown, 195th. Robert Gill, 141st. Ari Engel, 86th. Nicholas Grippo, 64th. And Valentin Vorniku, 34th. And then Mr. Frank Lynn, 18th. Way to go, Frank. Number 29, $2,500 no limit hold'em. Alan Lee, 218th. Playing a little hold'em, huh? Kenneth Hirose, 211th. Wes Zong, Wesley, I believe. Mr. I don't know if he's still HCL guy. I don't think he is. 193rd. Vong Do, 181. Yong Sik Yum, 177th. Michael Wasserman, 170th. Brian Hastings, 166. Sohail Kadili, 120th. Michael Yang, 40th. And Srivine Irinki, 18th. Congratulations. All right. I'll finish this page off and hand it over. Event 30, the $10,000 no limit deuce to 7 single draw, low ball 7-handed, only blaster that cash there. Danny Wong for 23rd. And then event 31, $800 no limit hold'em 8-handed. All right. Can you see this, Derek? You want to read the cashers from this event?
Yep. All right. James Saleo, 647th. Twee Win, 632nd. Sammy Beshahed, 617th. Sandeep Pulasani, 598th. David Ubaidov, who we're going to hear a little bit more about soon, 544. Alvin Bello, 507, 502. Anthony Marquez, 466. Scott Stewart, 461st. Kenneth Hirose, 437th. Kobe Wasei, 391st. Larry Kwong, 321. Danny Heroes. Oh, both of these guys, huh? The brothers, 318. Yeah. Fausto Valdez, 288th. Alfred Cho, 164th. Peter Cross, 117th. Haik Rumian, 74th. Mike Nori, 72nd. Wang Do, 60th. And Tony Huang, 28th. Good to see so many blasters going deep in these tournaments.
Yeah, no, for sure. That one is a really dense one there, I'd say. All right. Yeah. Yep, no cashers in event 32. Event 33, limit hold'em 8-handed. Just win-win. Getting 49th, so way to go. 34, 1500, no limit hold'em, super turbo bounty. Brian Hastings, 318th. Ari Engel, 309. David Ubadoff, 294th. Alan Lee, 272. Anthony Marquez, 232. Daniel Strelitz, 218. Albin Bayo, 177. Kevin Song, 167. Scott Stewart, 164. Wei Zhang Zong, 108. Chris Stone, 100th. Frank Lynn, 98th. Craig Chait, 53rd.
Gotta give a shout out to Frank too for putting all these results together. This is just totally insane.
This is, as always, Frank going well above and beyond the call. We salute you, sir. All of the LA folks salute you.
All right, I got to take a quick break. Ty, you just keep going with the results. I'll be back in like 2 minutes.
Yep, I'm on it. All right. Oh, okay, good. And event 35, the $3,000 No Limit Hold'em Freeze Out. Sohail Khalili, 144th. Brian Hastings, 137. Alex Massman, 126. Camille Brown, 98th. Andy Sai, 84th. Tony Huang, 68th. Alex Farahi, 38th. And David the Dragon Pham in 12th. Okay, event 36, the $10,000 Pot Limit Omaha 8 or better 8-handed. Brian Hastings, the only cashier for 4th place. Congratulations, Brian. So close to another bracelet, 4th place. Not bad at all. Way to go. All right, 37, event 37, the $1,500 No Limit Hold'em Monster Stack. This is an exciting one. Let's go. Paul Wynn, 1,405th. Andrew Ostapchenko, 1,310th. Jeremy Mintz, 1,212th. Tony Huang, 1,170th. Thomas Zeno, 1,165th. Andy Sai, 1,096th. Arthur Papazian, 1,072nd. Fausto Valdez, 1,054th. Eric Wu, 924th. David Pham, 909th. Mir Gaskari, 846th. Jared Greiner, 750th. Srivane Urinki, 746th. Gavork Kasabian, 659th. Jesse Yaginuma, 639. Kevin Gimbel, 630th. Tianyu Mu, 596th. Scott Stewart, 515th. In Pound Tony Vong Von, 457th. Ryan Hemmel, 446th. Alex Massman, 425th. Elvin Bayo Santos, 321. Sohail Khalili, 304th. Wei Zhangzong, 294th. Michael Nouri, 259th. Andrew Lavender, 155th. Larry, Joe Vile, Mr. Sarah Brinani, 65th. Way to go, Larry. And topping off, ever so close, almost got his first bracelet. The kid, David Uvidov, got 2nd place for over 800,000. Congratulations, everyone, and congratulations, David. All right, no blasters cashed the 100K high roller. Probably not many played. The $1,500 horse, event 39, we had Michael Nouri in 115th. We had Nikhil Guerra, 107th. Shirley Rosario in 79th. Qing Hai Pan, Jack Pan in 37th. And Ari Engel in 17th. The event 40, the $5,000 No Limit Hold'em Seniors High Roller, 801 entries, was Ron West getting 4th place. Congratulations. Event 41, the 10K Limit Hold'em Championship 8-handed, was Jack Pan getting 13th. The $1,000 Pot Limit Omaha 8-handed, event 42, was Michael Wasserman getting 281st. Ari Engel, 279th. James Cilio, 201st. And Danny Wong, 50th. Event 43, 1,500 Limit Raz. Gina Hecht, 37th. Shirley Rosario in 36th. Matt Savage in 25th. All right. And Alan Lee, 1st place, snags that bracelet. Congratulations. Event 44, 10K Pot Limit Big O Championship. Igor Zexter, 36th. And Evgeny Torevsky, 27th. Way to go, guys. Event 45, looks like no blasters. Event 46, no blasters there. Looks like a super high roller, 250K, so that makes sense. Number 47, $2,500 Limit Omaha 8 or better, stud 8 or better. This was Alan Lee getting 77th, Carol Fuchs getting 38th, Shirley Rosario 15th, and Linda Tran 14th. Way to go. Event 48, the $1,000 No Limit Hold'em Seniors Championship. Kevin Song, 1,041st. Jeff Yarchiver, 900th. Stuart Pfeiffer, 864th. Jay Hong, 727th. Franklin, 701st. Andre Ju, 481st. Yan Yan, 412th. Tongguan Sun, 266. Paul Wynn, 243rd. Uncle Paul Chowderson, 234th. Barbara Enright, 195th. Mike Escandiari, 187th. And Nina Lee getting 70th. Event 49, the $3,000 No Limit Hold'em 6 Max. Aaron Queskin, 155th. Andrew Ostapchenko, 138th for 138th. Gary Reknar getting 132nd. Peter Cross, 123rd. Thomas Zano, 92nd. Noel Rodriguez, 58th. Brian Hastings, 43rd. Danny Wong, 21st. No blasters in the 10K Limit Raz Championship, but in the 25K Pot Limit Omaha High Roller 8-handed, we had Noel Rodriguez getting 71st and Evgeny Turavetsky getting 47th. Way to go. Always nice to cash those big buy-ins.
It is insane how many results there are.
Hey, I mean, LA is the poker market. I mean, we probably have more people like by sheer numbers than Vegas.
We should.
At least locals, not counting people
That's
that
true.
drive in and out.
Yeah.
All right, event 52, the 1500 no limit hold'em freeze out. Daniel Hirose, 341st. Edward Pack, 299th. Derek Kwan, there you are, 231st. And then Valentin Vorniku, 183rd. Michael Wasserman, 75th. The Millionaire Maker has not been posted because there's too many entries is what I would say must have happened there, but we will talk about that plenty soon. All right. Event 54, the 1500 Pot Limit Omaha 8-handed. Thomas Zeno, 192nd. Igor Zexter, 171. Sandeep Pulusani, 160th. Jesse Yaginuma, we will talk about him more as well. 110th. Ari Engel, 105. Okay, event 55, the 10K Horse Championship. Ari Engel, 25th. Event 56, the 2500 Mixed Limit Triple Draw Low Ball, Ace blah, blah. Nam Lee getting 56th, and James Woods getting 8th.
Good finish, Mr. Woods.
Yeah, I haven't. First time reading his name on the list. I think he must probably just went up special for these mixed events.
Yeah, we caught him up there for something too.
Yep. Event 57, the $50,000 Pot Limit Omaha High Roller. So we don't have a lot of people playing the bigger buy-in other mixed games, but for Pot Limit Omaha, we got him in there, Mr. Alan Lee, 18th. All right, I'm going to rest my voice. Take on over here. We're on 59.
All right. So first, there was no blasters in 58 3K9 game, but in the 1K no limit hold'em Battle of the Ages, Peter Henkschool, 317th, Rick Meshamil, 279th, Alex Abia, 277th, Alan Myerson, 219th, Nick Grippo, 209, Lang Lee, 192, Otley Harrison, 144. Alan Lee, what are you doing cashing in a freaking no limit? Just leave them to us,
tabling.
Man. Any final table? Geez, what a series this guy is having. And I feel like he didn't go for like a shit ton of money in the 25K fantasy. So what a steal, whoever got him. And Srivane Irinki, 4th. Good job. Number 60, 3K limit hold'em 6-handed, Alex Mossman, 30th. And $500 no limit hold'em freeze out. Event number 61 looks like no results yet. Weird. But let's move on to number 62, 5K no limit hold'em 6 max turbo win, 54th for 13K. Nice job. Wei Zing West Zong, 44th. Ed Puck, 25th. Nick Grippo, 12th. Wow, good job. All these guys finishing super deep in this event.
Whew. And those are all the results that our number one field reporter has had a chance to pour through and get and that are posted.
Geez,
so
nice,
way to go.
Nice work, Frank.
Way to go, Frank. Let's pop over here real quick. I think he may have, pictures. And I don't know if we talked about Turbo taking this event, which was the 10K No Limit Hold'em Seniors High Roller win. I don't know if we mentioned this last time or not, but if we didn't, congratulations, taking home 186K for first place at the Seniors High Roller. And
nice work.
Yep. And then this is what Alan Lee, right? Yeah. So this guy's just crushing it. If you're in a mixed game event and you see him registering, you should probably just leave.
Wish this bro would be wearing our LA Poker Roundup hoodie in one of these pictures.
Yeah, right. He should be. Come on. Yeah, and I think that is it for World Series results. Woo, we made it through. And nice. just she's not a blaster, but man, what Sheena did in the I guess the ladies event must not be posted yet either, but what she did the last few years, gotta give a shout out. That's amazing.
Insane.
One of the most impressive things I have ever seen in the last 10 years. I mean, over 1,000 people just 3 years in a row, just second, first. That's crazy. Someone put it in perspective. When Johnny Chan went first, second in the World Series main events, those fields were in the low hundreds. There was like 200, 300 people. So,
yeah, for those who didn't actually watch the the final table, man, she is not a fluke. She is an unbelievable poker player. Just took all like any like marginal spot she would just take and put so much pressure on people. And just kind of almost had like a good card sense where she wouldn't then just like commit too much money when she was crushed. Very, very good poker player. Scary.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and for some reason, we aren't getting pictures and results from the commerce dailies that we were hoping to get, now that Kevin's there. So I have to think that's a directive from corporate, because Kevin loves posting pictures and results. And he hasn't really been doing it since he's been over there. Now, that hasn't stopped them from having record numbers. I've been playing some of the dailies the last few weeks. My understanding is they broke their single day record for a daily, a non-series kind of event, just like their weekly events. They had 400 and what did they have? We almost hit 100K in the Saturday event 2 weeks ago. So that was in the upper 400s. And then they broke their record for the biggest Sunday single daily they had, which was around 400 entries, just shy, like 380 something. So these dailies here back at Commerce with Kevin running the ship have been insane. And just to, not to brag, but a couple weeks ago, I did pull a little back-to-back final table action in these 1 days. So
nice work.
Had a little success
Holding it down in LA.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drove back from getting my butt kicked in the Mystery Millions, and then the next week I pulled off a second and an eighth, which the one thing I will say is that he brought his super duper top heavy payouts to Commerce. I'm honestly not that big a fan. I mean, I was kind of a fan when I got second, but overall I'm not that big a fan, because man, the first prizes for these things, they're getting the record numbers here, and the first prizes is like upwards of 28% of the prize pool.
That's too high.
It's
That's
insane.
Too high.
It's insane. I mean, the only time, like I said, the only time I like it is if I get first, or if it's first, second. Like when I got second, before we finished playing out heads up, we adjusted the first and second payout a little bit so that they'd be a little closer together. But but when I got eighth, it felt like I got peanuts. Like I got eighth in like a 350 person field, and it was just like I get 6 buy-ins. Okay.
Well, it feels like, the kind of thing that's going to make people chop. So by design, hopefully these tournaments finish a little faster or something.
I don't know. We'll see. I was really bummed too, because the time I got eighth, I went into the table as the chip leader that time. Both days I went in as the chip leader, and I just got brutally coolered. It was sick. The very first hand of that one, I get in with a short stack, and it's they have tens. I have queens. Of course, I lose that one, and then like the very next hand I play with that same player, they rip it in they tripled up that hand because somebody opened to like 4x or 5x with ace jack and ended up folding. Luckily, because they hit their ace 2. I have queens. I jam on these guys as a chip leader, and the flop was ace 10, so I would have lost to everybody. But then, so he triples up, and then like not barely 2 orbits later, he just rips it in for like 17 big blinds when there's 8 of us left at this final table, and he's probably like third in chips. Just rips it in, open rips, 17, 15 bigs with kings. I have ace king suited. With kings, yeah. He's like +1 or +2. He just rips it with kings. I'm like, well, I have ace king. How good can your hand be? I'm still a chip leader.
I feel like there's actually like 0% shoving range with 17 bigs at a final table.
Especially a turbo one. So, and I still had him covered by like 4 big blinds at that point, and I called and I lost, and then I just lost a flip next hand. So I'm like, God, how did I go from chip lead to nothing? But anyways, it was still fun. It was still good. Back-to-back final tables that obviously don't count for anything because we're not doing player of the year. Just a little bragging rights, a couple bucks to get ready for Legends coming up here. All right, so man, I feel all pumped up. That was energizing trying to read that fast. I feel like I was doing the ad read or something.
Like an exercise, yeah.
Right, little breath exercise, which is good because this next topic's got me all fired up too. So for those of you who do not know, I'm not going to bring up the video because I don't want this episode to be 2 hours long. But you may have heard of a little promo Club WPT Gold has been doing. I think we mentioned it before. This little thing they are calling the Golden Ticket. And if you have a Gold Rush ticket and you win one of these big events of the summer, they didn't say World Series events, they didn't say bracelet events, but if you win certain events, and you know what? I didn't go back to look, but I would be willing to bet they strategically happen to be ones that will be televised, that will be streamed final tables. You win an extra $1 million. And you know what happened? The thing that everybody could have predicted would happen when you give incentive to not everybody, that there is a $1 million asymmetric reward out there for someone. Now, one of these was paid out already during the shootout And I believe the heads up didn't last super long. It seemed like the people didn't trust each other enough to make any kind of deal, and it appears like they just played it out kind of normally. And the guy with the ticket won, and he won his million. No big deal.
Yep.
Which is honestly shocking. Absolutely shocking, because the prize for the shootout was what, 280K
Right.
or so. First
Right.
prize in the shootout
Yeah.
was like 280K, whereas the Gold Rush ticket's $1 million. Like literally splitting the Gold Rush money is more than winning first place in the tournament.
Yeah, you know what, Ty? I like to believe in people. I like to believe in the good in people, and he wasn't even thinking about it. Was just
Oh,
trying to
no,
play
no.
the game up and up.
I saw a couple clips from that final table. They were thinking about it, and he was thinking about it. I think that the case there was he was believing in the bad in people, or others were, and they just don't know each other well enough. But
Yeah.
this event, so to sum up this situation, in case you are not following poker at all, they have this promotion where only certain people who have these tickets will win $1 million if they win. Jesse Yagnuma had one of these golden tickets at the final table of the Millionaire Maker, and he ends up heads up versus James Carroll. And apparently they're friends. They're lifetime poker regs or whatever. They're longtime pros, right? They know each other well. They are well respected in the community. And Jesse gets to heads up, and James does not. Jesse, James, Team Rocket here. James does not have a golden ticket. So if James wins, he only wins first prize, 1.3 million, and second place being 1 million. If Jesse wins 1.3 million plus the $1 million from WPT. Now, these are two professional poker players. There's an extra $1 million out there to be won. And the problem is that Jesse went into this heads up with like a 1 to 15 chip deficit or something like that. Maybe 1 to 12. A massive deficit. He was way behind. Very, very unlikely to win this thing. Now, I did not watch the heads up play, but from everything I've read and from the comments and apparently it became very painfully obvious to anyone watching, even the commentators, that there very well may be some sort of non-poker action happening here. It became very obvious to everyone that it sure seems like these guys made a deal to make sure that Jesse was going to win. Weird plays were happening. It seemed like there's a pattern in betting, yada, 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 right? So what does this mean? This means Jesse wins. There's a huge debate now on whether or not this was cheating. Was this collusion? Was this chip dumping? Yes, it was probably chip dumping. Now, first off, I think they probably did make a deal, but I'm not going to speculate on that because I think all the discussion and everything that's happened doesn't matter what the actual truth is there. So let's just talk as though they made a deal. We don't know if they did or not. If they made a deal, there are so many things that came out of this. Now, the first upshot out of this was people shouting about WPT. Hey, man, they're cheating WPT. That's not fair. That's not what the spirit of this promotion was. They shouldn't pay him, yada, yada. WPT, man, they clearly they did not care. This is what they wanted. They paid. They were super happy to pay. They were making lots of posts. They were, in fact, making posts making fun of the World Series about this. And if you ask me, it's very obvious to me this is exactly what they wanted to happen. This is the absolute best outcome they could have possibly had.
It's pure chaos.
Exactly. Because if you remember, WPT is a direct competitor to the World Series, and this is making the World Series look bad and causing controversy and making people have opinions, not all of them good, all over the place. Now, people are upset because they think, oh, he threw this thing it was cheating. Now, there are so many angles to hit this from. The first one I want to start with is I don't think they did anything wrong. I think if anyone is a villain here, it's WPT. I think that WPT, if anybody was going to be getting, punished or lawsuited, or if the World Series is going to go after anyone, they should be going after the WPT because they are the ones who are paying their players or their participants to ruin their product, quote unquote, right? I likened it to this. How can, with the prize this massive, especially in these smaller tournaments, like talk about the shootout, like when the prize that they are offering is triple the prize that they can win for the event, why would anybody pay any attention to the event anymore? It should be all about that prize. And at that point, they're ruining whatever it is you were trying to do. So what if, and what I posed to someone is, what this made me think of is like, what if, I don't know, let's say Elon Musk bought a sports league, and he decided he's in competition with the NBA and he hates the NBA. Well, what if he just said, hey, I'm gonna pay the losing team of whoever loses the NBA Finals. I'm gonna pay every player on that team $100 million, and he does. That's all. He's not gambling on it. He's not saying. He just, hey, everyone out there, I'm just gonna pay $100 million to the losing team. Do what you will. And then say that ruins the finals because everyone, maybe like two players who don't care playing for real, but everyone else just plays bad and is trying to win. Can't the NBA sue? Wouldn't they be able to sue him for that? Wouldn't, if there's a lawsuit, wouldn't that be the direction you go? Now there's other things going on there, but like just for argument's sake, that feels like the first thing to me. Like, hey, this external entity is basically paying the people in your thing to ruin it. That seems to be the angle you would want to go for, not punishing your players, not punishing the whatever. Like, you should be issuing a lawsuit to cease and desist this promo that's ruining my event, that's ruining my product. What do you think?
I think on the other side of it, there's probably some plausible deniability where, their intentions were probably pure and just trying to give some winners $1 million and get some exposure with some WPT, like branding on a WSOP table. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that somebody there or other people there kind of knew the possibilities, right, of something like this actually happening.
Yeah, because the World Series not facilitating chops or allowing them has long time been something that's been
It's a big problem,
a huge problem for the lifetime of it, right? And WPT is going to be looking for ways to attack the World Series and bring to light things that they do in a way that it's like not player friendly, right? I mean, the WPT and the Win, they're known for being player friendly, right?
Yeah.
Whereas,
and actually somebody posted today, I think, was it Berkey? I think Berkey posted today about Mike Leah, who's a Canadian poker player. So way back when, one of the WPT mains, he ended up making a deal with the other person on a televised final table, and I think that he just ended up like raise folding until he had no chips, and then just lost to give Leah the title, the trophy. I think they'd like chopped the money up like an ICM chop, and then he offered Leah the trophy and the win. And then after that, that's when the WPT, or that was probably one of the things that caused the WPT to start allowing chops.
Yeah. And that's kind of how you should react, right? I mean, clearly chops, they want chops to happen. You should be making it safer and more fair. You should be helping your players, give the players what they want, right? Not trying to make the players dance for you like we're some kind of monkeys, right? I'll get back to that in a bit, though, when we get to talking about kind of like the World Series, the rest of their reaction to this. So yeah, the other part of the public outcry, right, was this huge backlash. There's two camps. One, it's their money. They do what they want. This is what any rational professional would do. And the other side being they're cheating. It's bad for the game. It's hurting the integrity of the game. This is not a shame. It's this is like embarrassing, right? I don't know. I have strong opinions on this. Where do you fall on this in these camps, Derek?
I think it's a tough one. It's a tough one. There's a lot of things on both sides of it. I don't know if I actually land one side or the other, actually, just because of the both sides.
All right. Well, I fall very clearly on one side in that people. So okay, well, all right. Maybe let me rephrase that. When I read people's arguments about what happened, I feel like most of them have no idea what they're actually arguing, right? Like most of them want to just take this high road, this prideful, like, oh, like I'm a sports fan, the integrity of the game should matter, right? But that's and the cheating angle, they're talking about it's collusion, it's chip dumping, clear and cut. Chip dumping is cheating. It's not, all right? So collusion, and this has been going around the internet a lot, collusion is defined as two or more people, several people acting in conjunction with each other to hurt another party. Okay?
Right.
When you get to the end of the tournament, there's no other party. So you have to prove that before they got heads up, they were doing something to hurt the other players, which you are never going to do. They probably weren't doing. You can't prove it. Especially can't prove it because the optimal strategy for a massive chip leading stack with a very small stack like Jesse and a medium stack would be looking exactly like collusion anyways. Like one of the optimal strategies looks very much like Collusion's. There's no way you'd be able to prove it.
For sure.
But when you get to the final two, even at the final two, people are saying, "Oh, it's an embarrassment. It's Look, the embarrassment is that they had to play it out. The embarrassment is that they had to keep playing. It's their money in a tournament. This is what people don't seem to understand is the definition of these are examples of collusion. Only our collusion with the backing, that backing motivating thing, which is they have to be hurting someone else. You know, it's legal for him. People have been saying like if James just didn't show up and blinded out, people would be less upset. And it's like, why would they be less upset? It's the same thing. You know, look, if you're allowed to go all in dark every hand, you can play your hands any way you want. That's another reason you won't be able to prove cheating. Someone can just go in and do that, go all in dark every hand. People make deals and go all in dark every hand after the break when they made the deal. Like, these are all the same things. This just took longer because they wanted to make sure, right? And the only reason they had to do this was because the World Series won't facilitate chops. So now they're in this big mess. People saying that this hurts the integrity of the game, quote unquote, you're missing a huge thing. Look, that's kind of just drinking the Kool-Aid that the World Series is selling you, right? Like, the World Series wants the bracelets to have some kind of shine, which is ridiculous because they give out like 400 a year, but they want them to mean something. They want you to not chop so that there's a winner, right? So that it has a win.
You're landing on the player side.
Right. I'm on the player side. The World Series, it's bullshit because there's you can't argue. I think it's completely different situation to try and argue integrity of the game, to try and argue like you have to have a champion. This isn't a championship. We didn't win qualifiers. This isn't an invitational. We didn't win our way. We didn't win our regional things. We aren't like trying to win to be the very best champion of the world here in this Millionaire Maker. Anyone who had $1,500 or $1,000, anyone who had $1,000 can show up and play. The guy who won the Gladiator said he was hungover and just played because accidentally. He just happened to show up. He showed up hungover and halfway drunk, and he bagged and he won the thing. This is not pure championship, peak of our game kind of thing, okay? If it was an invitational and the World Series was the one putting up the whole prize pool, okay, let's talk. But this is not how it works. The World Series...
Yeah, this is...
Okay, I'm just going to say the World Series and all of the poker operators, they need to remember this is not a league. We are not employees the way a professional athlete is. We are not an employee of the league, an employee of the team. We are not in an organization whose goal is to cultivate excellence. We all show up with our own money to gamble with each other. The World Series, WPT, all of these organizations, your job is to facilitate that gambling in a fair way and to provide a safe space and to, promote the game so more people come maybe, right? Your job is to help us gamble our money together. You're not our employer. We're paying you. We're customers. We're not your employees. We're not your players. In a sports league where the players, the employees, yeah, you can hold them to certain standards. We pay you money to hold our money and then give it back to us according to the way that, we agree to for this gambling thing, right? It's not your money. There is no collusion. It's their money. If you, as soon as you get to the money in a tournament, if everyone wants to chop, that should be our prerogative, right? If you had a 200-way chop, the tournament should end. Who cares about your bracelet? It's our money, right?
This is why both sides it, because I understand the player's perspective, but I feel like we shouldn't take an overly technical definition of integrity, I suppose, right? Because it's not collusion, it's not really chip dumping because a third party or more parties weren't hurt by it. But still, from the purity of the game, you were heads up playing for a very prestigious award, which was a bracelet and a lot of money. And then basically what they did on live TV was just kind of not play real poker, right? And if we're talking about the long-term growth of the game, I actually do agree. I don't think this is like a WSOP selling point. I would say the same thing. Just hurt the integrity of poker, right? People watching, amateurs watching, they're probably just, and then when maybe they didn't even know what they were seeing, but then if they were on social media afterwards and then they found out about it, they'd be like, oh, that was kind of fucked up, right? So that's the kind of thing that we want to avoid. So I kind of wish they didn't do it, but nothing you said was wrong. Like that, like technically they kind of didn't do anything wrong. They just took a very roundabout way of chopping, and they just had to do it publicly because they were on a stream, and because WSOP doesn't facilitate chops, they're kind of asking for this kind of thing to happen sooner or later. But But yeah, I do still. So that's why I said in the beginning, I'm just kind of both siding it a little bit, where I do believe the integrity of the game was hurt, while at the same time, I kind of wish that these two guys allegedly didn't get banned for life, because I think that's what I heard happened.
Yeah, and that, other people definitely echo your opinion. Here's a post by someone who's saying something similar, comparing it to how, painful it is to play against like Cabral or something. I don't know. Just general hurting game. And, I do agree that this isn't how people should play, but the situation isn't, it's not on them because they shouldn't have been forced to play it at all, right? So that's my point. Is like you put them in a situation where we
Yep,
are, look, let's
sure.
not lie. People will say, I'm here for the bracelet, but no, you're not here for the bracelet. Almost no one is here for the bracelet. You're here to win the money, and you would like to win the bracelet so that you have that also, right? Unless you're in one of the small ones, maybe. But like for $1 million, I bet there's less than well into the low single digits of people who would want the bracelet over $1 million, right? Not even close.
Yeah, so I think in this case, I don't know what the actual deal was, but let's just say decided to split it 50-50. 500K would make a humongous difference in my life.
Yeah.
But if I were asked to cheat on a live stream,
See, but
which
you
would
said cheat.
affect
You said cheat when you get heads up. If you were asked to throw the game, right? If you're asked to,
throw the game.
yeah.
Okay, for sure. Throw the game. If I were asked to throw the game on a live stream, I would really have to think about it. And I don't even know if I want to ask for my, or the whole thing actually just makes my skin crawl. And I might actually say no, to be honest with you. I
Oh,
might actually say no, even though that money is just so significant to me.
if I'm
It
in
would be
James's
huge.
spot, I'm asking for more than 500 of that.
Sure.
I'm absolutely asking for more
Sure.
than 500. But that's not to say that you should be. It's a spot where the two players, the two professionals, should be able to make a deal that benefits them both. And WPT is not being cheated. They did this on purpose. They are reveling in this happening. They love that this happened. If you haven't seen the memes, they had one up that they took down again, specifically making fun of them. This is exactly what they want. They want to put egg on the WSOP's face and make them look old and antiquated while they look cool, right? But this is uh, so that, like I said, there are people that definitely kind of are siding with you, and I do see, for the growth of the game, I do agree that part, but they shouldn't have been putting that. If you facilitated chops, I think it would be somewhat reasonable to say, hey, we'll let you chop, but if you choose to chop, there's no bracelet because there's no winner. Okay, maybe that's okay. I could be okay with that. But now there's evidence that it looks like they were banned. For how long? Who knows? For a long time, forever. I mean, they erased their accounts, they removed the results. Um, this is just petty and stupid in my mind. This is like, I mean,
This might have come from the gaming board, though, to be fair.
why though? Who did they cheat? Once again, the gaming board just doesn't. The gaming board doesn't care unless
Yeah.
you cheat the casino, right? And you're not. They're not cheating each other.
Uh,
What the heck?
yeah, I mean, again, I think taking the very technical definitions, I don't think anybody can disagree. But
Yeah, and the other thing
no,
is,
I
even with their definitions, like chip dumping, someone pointed this out too. You can't just write chip dumping in the
chip
things
dumping. I feel
because
like
you
it's not
can't
really chip
prove.
dumping.
Well, you can't prove it. You can't prove that it's chip dumping. I mean, just because a guy raises with 8-3 and another guy raises him back with 8-9 or whatever, and then he folds, like that's not
Yeah.
chip dumping. The one guy got aggressive, the other guy got aggressive back, and you folded, right? Like
Yeah,
that's
even
poker.
the chip dumping technical definition does include that third party that got hurt or more people. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying, like, I don't. Yeah, from a very technical way, it doesn't feel like they actually did something that was on the line of cheating or collusion or anything like that. But I think overall, I think we all agree they shouldn't have done what they did, and what they did was not,
well,
on the high side of the integrity spectrum.
nah, I still
So,
I still disagree. I still disagree because they're putting on a show, a bad show, but if you're not hurting anyone, and I don't count the World Series as anyone because I think they are completely in the wrong. I think they're completely in the wrong. They shouldn't have been forced to play. And anything you want to do, heads up. Look, like I said, if we get on that stream, we had to sit there and watch Jared Blesnick open sports cards for like 6 time banks in a tournament. Like that wasn't during a WSP event, but like that's something you do on a stream,
yeah,
right? So like you can do
I've seen
whatever you want on stream. If you and I
uh,
got heads up
but,
and I decided to say
mm,
like, hey, let's
uh,
I'm gonna start whatever. I'm gonna start playing every hand blind. Like like I can do
well, I
whatever I
think in
want.
that case, so I think, but the thing is, not we might be splitting hairs a little bit, but going in blind is not something that's intentional. Like, you're leaving it up to luck right? So you are playing the game differently, but that's not like a very purposeful. We are
Okay,
trying
I could get
to
up there and say I'm going to fold every hand without
we're
looking.
trying to drive a very specific. Well, so I think folding every hand is going to be
The
more on the spectrum of what they
Yeah,
did than
exactly.
going
I'll
in
play every
blind,
hand
right?
blind. I'm going to fold them all.
But if you're gonna go all in blind, right,
No, I
you're
said I would
leaving
play
up the
every hand
chance.
blind. I don't have to,
Okay, okay,
I'm just
okay.
saying is I can do whatever I
I
want.
think now you're splitting hairs, right?
I'm
So
just saying is that
let me finish. If
yeah,
you go all in blind, you're leaving it up to chance, and that's okay. Poker is chance, some percent of chance. If you're gonna fold every hand, that's kind of the same thing that they did, which is collude for a very specific outcome to happen,
right. But
for one winner to happen, right? So you're
right.
you're by design trying to cause that. So that's very different than going all in blind, and I think you know that.
But the outcome is already decided. As soon as every remaining player in the tournament decides what the outcome should be,
Well,
it's already
so like
decided, and they're
so
just
you're
using
talking about outcome.
mechanics.
You're talking about outcome for the money, but I still believe that the outcome of winning the trophy, of winning the tournament outright, is a very, very specific outcome that you tried to taint. I also think that like other people have made arguments. Well, you can't compare this to other places where people aren't putting up their own money, right, to actually
Yeah,
like compete. However, when you think about like let's just say boxing or MMA, right? You have people putting up tens of thousands of dollars for a training camp. They're actually paying, right? They're not paying like the organization itself and putting up prize money, but they're paying a shit ton of money, right, to go train. I still feel like in some sense, like throwing a fight or throwing a chess match or throwing something like that to try to swap money just doesn't feel right, right? Is
no,
I don't think it's like that different than poker.
I think it's completely different still though because those prize pools that they're throwing and those things. So if I do all that training in boxing and I spend all that money to train in boxing, I need to win. I need to win in order to get my next fight and make more money in my next fight, right?
Hmm.
In poker,
Hmm.
once we've decided where the money's going, I can do whatever I want aside from being banned from the casino, and as long as I bring a buy-in to the next event, I can play again. You know, I don't need to like I said, I don't need to qualify. I don't need to be invited. I don't need to be on a team. I don't need to be a part of an organization. I just need to show up with money and not be banned from the event.
I think from a very pure perspective, like sure, if you're just saying, well, the money always comes out of pocket, but I think you know that taking a World Series of Poker bracelet opens up a lot of opportunities for you,
I
right? So
don't
you
think it
might be
does
looking at
anymore.
sponsorships. You might be looking at sponsorships, but not only that, but you are definitely going to be looking at being able to sell action easier. You're going to be able to sell markup easier, right? Lots of things can happen for you on top of the fact that just you can do a lot with the branding itself and make money on the side with your branding if you can, parlay that correctly.
I,
So it's like not directly, I
I,
agree with you, the same as like, boxing where you go from rank number six to rank number two or something like that, and then the fighting for the title. But you definitely get some benefits from shipping a bracelet.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of disagree, and I would say that the benefits of getting over 500 grand is probably going to be equal to or better than most of the benefits you described. Now, winning 5 bracelets in 2 years maybe is something, but one bracelet, I can't tell you the people who won one bracelet last year if they weren't already famous. Uh, I I can't tell you one. And the main event winners, they tend to just keep playing or disappearing. So I mean, like the money, it's about the money. Now look, if we were playing feeder tournaments and there was a global or there was a ranking that people cared about. I mean, we have the GPI ranking, right? But like that does you,
Yep.
there's no GPI invitational tournament. There's no like getting that GPI number one player of the year award. It's okay, but it doesn't really change anything because I can still play if I can find $200,000 or $250,000. I can go play in all the biggest high rollers in the world. It just doesn't matter until
You
I
know,
think
we
until it's an actual league and until it's an actual sponsored thing and until there's actual organizations that somehow can gauge and funnel talent. I don't think there's any real argument about this
I
championship
think
thing.
it's interesting if LA Poker Roundup, if all our fans and supporters can help us get big enough, maybe Ty and I can offer a cash prize for the LA Poker Roundup
Right, right.
POY. And then what happens when the number two guy who's like 5 points behind or something, right, is at a final table, or maybe he's just like the number of points from second to first place from taking first in the POY at the very end, and we're gonna offer him 10 grand. Is he going to try to like, convince a second place person to split,
I
right?
bet he
And then
would.
all of a sudden, maybe, man, maybe our opinions might change a little
No,
bit.
I think he would. I think he would. And in
Yeah.
things, I'm almost positive. I know in Magic this happened, playing Magic the Gathering tournaments, and I'm almost certain in chess as well, that there's a lot of situations where if you're in a round where you can't statistically make it, but your opponent could if they won or drew with you, then the accepted polite thing to do is to concede or to give them that draw so that they can go on and you can't. And
Oh, that's interesting. So
I think that's dumb.
actually,
I don't think that's right, but that is the etiquette thing overall that is
in
done.
sports, like the teams that are at the very bottom of the rung, like they revel in costing somebody a playoff spot,
Right.
if they can help it. Right? Like,
Yeah.
they'll fight to the death.
Yeah, but it's different, right? Because here's the thing. They have fans that they have to appease, and they make their money from those fans, and they have owners that they need to play for that presumably could fire them if they didn't play well, right? In chess and in Magic, it's an individual sport, kind of like poker, and the hope is that if you get in that situation where you'll get in when it's flipped around, that the etiquette will say that you get through on a free pass. So you're trying to do that as well, right? Where same in poker, if you're in a spot where it's like, well, you win $1 million if I lose, and if I win 50. So hey, give me $100,000 and I'll just let you win, right? Like in the hopes that if this ever happened the other way, of course you'd do it and I'd make more money too. This is the problem with us putting up our own money is you have to be thinking everyone plays poker for the money, right? Like there's a very small percentage, and you know me, I think everyone who watches the show knows no one's more about the integrity of the game than myself. I am about the integrity of the playing, the integrity of the actions and the actual happening, what's going on. But like the overall, the outside setup, like the bigger picture is we put our own money in. We decide what happens with that money. My opinion is the operators they have to remember, and I think the WPT kind of remembers this better. It's not about them. It's not about their whatever. It's about us and what we want to do with our tournament. So
I'm very much about the spirit of a thing, the spirit of a competition, the spirit of whatever, right? Like what is the overall like goal of what we're all trying to do together when we are competing for something? I'm very, very much into that, right? And I think it's also naive to think that people aren't going to act on incentives or disincentives to do stuff, especially with money. But I still, that's why I believe in the integrity part of it, is because the spirit of competition is like playing your opponent to try to win it all the way out, right? That's it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And like I said, I would like it to be that way, but it's not that way. And the way that the incentive, like I said, until the WSOP makes all its money from sponsorships and TV deals and it puts up the money and it invites the players that are the best in the world, I just don't agree with any of this. I just think that this is... I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted by the crowns in our chat. I've never seen those before. What the heck are those? Yeah, and thank you everyone in the chat for chiming in. We're just getting all fired up over here, so I haven't been responding too much there. But yeah, I just think that it's that.
Oh, it looks like there's actually some competition in the chat. I clicked on one of the things, and it looks like people are getting experience points.
Really? For chatting?
Being...
Hey,
Oh,
cool. I didn't turn that on. It must be an automatic thing.
All right, so don't game this. Don't game this. I'm putting like one word per line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Well, I think I have it slightly throttled, so that's all good. But yeah, so I mean, I would love to see that. We've talked about this before. How can we get poker tournaments sponsored? How can we get sponsored leagues? How can we get something get the situation somehow so that the players aren't gambling? We're just trying to be great poker players and being rewarded for it, right?
Right.
So I just think that needs to happen before you have a leg to stand on about this other stuff, right? Because look, even the World Series of Poker's early days, right? What was it, the second or third one? Doyle and the other guys made a deal. Doyle specifically told them, I don't want to win. Give me some money and I'll just make sure I don't win, right? So even from the very beginning, this has never been a prestigious... This is undisputably fairly the best player, blah, 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 right? It's always been like, hey, we're still going to talk about this and just make a deal of some sort, right? So,
yeah,
and that's just in the history of poker. That's just in the blood of poker.
Yeah, time check 10:10. I think we have another big topic to go through. So,
yep. All right. So, pin in this next topic. So, big announcement. Someone out there, luckily, who has some sort of gambling slant, to their thing. Maybe they're lobbyists for casinos. I don't know. They read this tax bill that's going through Congress right now. Just went through the
Oh,
Senate.
he's actually a poker accountant.
He is a poker accountant. Oh, great. So poker accountant took a look at this and read this. I think it was Russ Fox is his name, Russell Fox,
Yep.
and he alerted some folks, including Phil Gelfond, about some things that are in the bill, changing the way that gamblers and professional gamblers and just recreational gamblers can report your losses. So the way that it works in general, once again, not tax advice. This is just my understanding of it from how I do my taxes. Hopefully I'm doing them right. You report your gambling winnings. You have large jackpots and payouts and tournament winnings. Casinos will give you W2Gs. They get reported to the casino. But even in cash games, you're supposed to keep a record of your sessions and report your winnings. And at the end of your taxes, you report your winnings, and then you can deduct your losses up to your winnings. I'm not going to get into if you're a professional, how you do your expenses. That's you can look that up yourself. But there's a provision in this new bill that says now you can only deduct the value of 90% of your losses. So what does that mean? That means if you're a big-time losing player, this doesn't affect you because you have so many losses, you can still write off all of and any wins you have. So if you're a massive wreck, big-time, whatever, not a big deal. If you are a break-even player, well, this sucks because now you lose. Because let's say you have 100,000 in tournament winnings every year, and you magically have 100,000 in tournament losses every year. So typically, you're break even. You don't pay any taxes because it's zero. Now you can only deduct 90,000 of those losses. So you're still going to have to pay taxes on 10,000 of those wins, even though you didn't win any money this year. So that sucks.
Yep.
That sucks. That's going to hurt. It's going to make you want to play less volume for sure, because the less volume, the less amount that you're going to have.
And for people listening, just to hopefully reduce any confusion that you have, typically you can deduct up to 100% of your losses against your winnings. But here, what they're actually doing, it's not you can only deduct 90% of your wins. It's you can only take 90% of your total losses.
Right.
So this is why, if you were to, as an example, get buried for 150K, right? And you basically won 100K, you're taking 90% of 150K, which is the max that you can deduct. But then that's still over 100K, so you can take it out. But then in that example that Ty gave, where it's 100K losses and 100K wins, you can 90% of 100K losses is only 90K, right? And then you have to actually pay taxes on 10K, which is just absurd.
Yep. And then where this really sucks, and where this really just destroys two things: the kind of the professional gambler profession, like the advantage player, like dream, honestly, and also just people like the high rollers, the people who gamble very large, and the people who bet very big. This hurts these two groups really badly. So let's start with the big bettors, because I care less about them. So people who bet huge, huge high limit slots, huge high limit everything, they're going to have much bigger wins and losses. So if they break even on that much bigger win or loss, that means that one example we gave was 100K, and you would have like a $10,000 tax liability. If they're betting massive and they're winning in the tens of millions, 50 million win or loss.
That's crazy. Yeah.
That means that now it's like they're going to have a $5 million tax liability or something. Like, and
it's crazy.
That's if they broke even at their massively high amounts that they're betting, which means why would you ever do that? You have to win. You have to win at better than a 10% clip to just break even. Like, you can't do that. There is no casino game where you can win at a better than 10% clip.
So if you basically win 3 million and lose 2 million, and you can only write up to 90%, like when the numbers get that big, it starts getting absolutely crazy. Yeah. But even for like us, like it's just kind of shitty, right? Yeah. If I ended up winning 100K and I ended up losing like 70K, and I can only write off 90% of 70K, ended up owing more tax than I actually won. It's stupid.
Exactly. And that's exactly the scenario where it kills the professional gambler, right? So if you're a professional gambler and you had a massive year, like you're having like Jesse Lonis type years, it's probably not going to hurt too bad, because like say you like just destroyed it. You had like a 300% ROI. You bought in for $1 million and you made $2 million, right? Like, okay, so now you're getting taxed on what's probably like 2.5 1 million something. Okay, it hurts, not bad. But if you're just barely winning, and if you're a professional gambler, especially poker players, now this destroys sports bettors too, which were already wrecked just from transaction fees and the books cutting them off. Destroys probably anyone who tries to do slots and anything like that. But if you're closer, because remember, this is 10%, which basically is going to mean that your ROI is just instantly getting cut by probably 5% or something. So who has better than a 5% ROI by enough to keep living, right? Because in the situation Derek said, he said 70K in losses, 100K in wins, 30K profit, say. So in general, he'd be paying taxes on 30K of gambling winnings. Okay, not bad. Say you keep 20K or something. Well, in the new situation, you're not paying taxes on 30K. You can't deduct all those losses. So now you're going to pay taxes on 38K or something. That sucks. So now when you win, you're taxed on more than you won, so you get to keep less. So now you have to win more. You have to win a higher percentage more consistently just to get the same amount you had before. And it's not like it's already bad enough when you're trying to be a professional gambler and you have an even year. But now if you have an even year, you lose. And now when you win a little, you break even. And now when you have a good year, you just do okay, right? So and if you're relying on a 5% edge, it's gone.
Yeah, your ROI is hosed.
It's basically just gone. And the more volume you do, actually the bigger risk you're taking, the bigger liability risk you're taking, because the more volume you do, if you end up breaking even, you lose more. So it's just really destroying that grinding pro poker player dream.
I'm going to say the good thing though is that there's a lot of very celebrity level poker players, right? That can probably help us get some visibility to this. I think we've seen Ted Cruz actually play on Poker After Dark or something.
Play is a liberal use of the word. Okay, I mean I feel okay. Just saying.
Wait, what?
I'm just saying Jesse and James played more than I probably had a better showing of playing than Ted did, but I didn't watch, so
Oh, yeah, I didn't. I don't know if I was even paying attention to what hands they were playing. I was just, I think it was on in the background or something. But regardless, I think the point is that we have some, people on the higher up, and I think Mike Mattis actually tweeted he knows or he's friends with the head of the IRS, so it feels like we can make some noise with this,
the
but
IRS
definitely make sure
is in high regard with the current in powers right now, I'm sure. So they're very well.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I think regardless of our feelings for the relationships, there's enough people on that can make enough noise for us, but don't let that sit on your laurels. Make sure that you are if you care about this. Look up your, what, I'm going to make a tweet tomorrow. I'm going to write up a little
Phil Galfond right here actually says he has a link to house.gov/representatives. And
so you should look up your representative and write them something, but I think I'll just write up a little note that people can copy and paste by tomorrow morning, so that people can kind of go use that.
Especially if your representative is a Republican, because they're the ones who are voting for, so they're the ones that we need to be sympathetic to get it out, right? To get it out of there.
Don't let that also, however,
don't let that stop you.
Yeah, don't let that stop you. If your rep is a Democrat, still write it and make sure that you make some noise.
So this would be devastating. And then the reason my hope would be then that all of the casino and gaming operators have enough lobbyists to make that noise, and that they haven't upset whoever the heck they would upset to get them to ignore it. So they're the ones who are going to be making the noise money wise, because this will hurt their bottom line a lot, because like I said, those big high volume gamblers, if they think they're winning or break even and they see this is just going to destroy them at large numbers. Like a 10% haircut on that is not good. And then
I think the WSOP is the one organization that's definitely been playing by the rules, definitely been following all the different regulations that we have state by state, and also they didn't creep into the sweepstakes stuff that WPT did. So hopefully WSOP can.
I feel like that, like the Win and the whoever MGM, they're going to be the lobbyists that do this.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
WSOP just has no money for this. I don't think. They're just not a big organization in a national global sense. I feel like the Win, the big public companies, right? The MGM, Win, maybe Sands, they're going to be the ones that fight this. Although probably not Sands, because I don't think they have U.S. casinos anymore.
That would be good. As long I wasn't really thinking too much about table game players, but I suppose it's going to definitely hurt the high rollers. So
yeah, it's definitely going to crush American high rollers, because that same thing, the volume, and they don't even have percentages or the full amounts. And then Shoot, I had one last offshoot from this. Someone's mentioning about, assuming all your wins are reported. Yeah, of course we're assuming everything is reported. If you're a cash player and you're hiding everything, then you're under the same risk that you were under before. Somehow someone catches you and figures it out, you're under that same risk. But for tournaments, obviously if you play so small that you never get reported, you likely can keep it on the download. But if you are a semi-professional or you like to play these larger events, you're gonna get reported. It's gonna get reported there.
Yep.
So yeah, So this is bad. Contact your people. The other thing that's nervous about it though is all the headlines are they're pushing. They want to get this massive 900-page thing passed by Friday. So how much time do you have to get one little line item like this removed? This is how we lost. This is how we lost online poker. One line item on some other bill that they needed to get out the door right away. We are, it's not that important in the grand scheme of things, so it's very easy for them to push it without it. And, the amount of noise that has to be made has to be large. So cross your fingers.
I'd like to see who snuck this in there. Hopefully that name will come out sooner or later.
Yeah, it'd be nice if it had a ramification. Whatever. But definitely be aware. So if you do, obviously we're all law-abiding, tax-reporting citizens here. So this is going to be very impactful, especially if you're looking to be a profitable tournament player. So, I hate it. I already hated it, and now I hate it even more. So, okay. Well, last topic, the Legends of Poker. Unfortunately, so the Legends of Poker we know is... we know the dates, and we did know the schedule, all right? So the Legends of Poker at the Bike was announced. It's going to be July 18th to September 1st, and the schedule was up for like a week. For some reason, we can't find it anymore. For some reason, it's not up. Hopefully, it will be up again soon, but I do remember some details from it, so I guess I'm just going to have to talk about it from memory, unfortunately. So the opening weekend, that first weekend, is a bunch of one days. So they've done this before. It's kind of nice. It's kind of like getting people back from the World Series. They don't want to push people in the multi-day. People are still filtering back. The World Series is still going on. So it's going to kick off with, I believe, a $50K guarantee on Friday. But then if they stick to this, and fingers crossed, I really hope they didn't take it down to change these guarantees. But Saturday is a $200K one day. So if you thought that the 100K one days were wild, they have put a 200K guarantee on this. I believe they have hit 200K on these before, particularly the first one after the World Series does tend to explode. So look, guys, get there earlier. The line's going to be long, I bet. Congratulations, Julie. Final table, the Liz Flint event. Cool. Way to go. So this is a 200K guarantee. I believe it's still a $400 buy-in, 30K stack. That's going to be Saturday. And then I want to say the Sunday one, I don't remember it. I won't say 50K guarantee for sure. I don't remember if it was 100. So then the following week, it's going to be the Big Four. So we've seen the Big Four. Always love it. That's one of the most popular ones I think that they've been doing lately. The $400 buy-in, 400K guarantee, multi-day flight. Then the following weekend after that, they're going to do their 50-50 again. That one, every time, I'm always shocked that it doesn't do better than it does. You expect it to do significantly better than the 400, but it doesn't. It tends to be around the same. Do I see Jeff's going to play in his first main event out there? Congratulations, Jeff, and good luck, man. Good luck on Friday. Way to go. So that is that one. And then after the 50-50 on the schedule, the following week was going to be another Park West Classic. I'm not going to get as excited about it this time because clearly it's not as exciting as the Mega Millions that happen after. So that week will be the Park West Classic 500K guarantee. Let me bring up a calendar so I can throw some dates out here with this. So the 18th, as I said, is the opening weekend. So the 19th is that big 200K one-day guarantee. The weekend of the 25th, 26th will be the Big Four. So that day two should be on the 27th, but I do not distinctly remember. I'm just praying they kept it the same way, Sunday day twos. So then the next week after that, that would be August 2nd, 3rd. That will be the 50-50. And then the week after that, August 9th and 10th, that's going to be the Park West Classic. And then the week after that, the 16th, 17th, that is, I believe, the mini mega, and I believe the week after that is the mega. The 23rd, 24th will be the mega. So that is the schedule. They do have their regular kind of 1 days sprinkled throughout that, but as I said, they took it down, and September 1st. So I must have gotten the mini and the megas a little bit mixed up. The mega typically takes 2 weeks, so I would add a week on there. So whatever I said, the mega is clearly going to wrap up at the end of this thing. So they said it goes till September 1st. So that means I would anticipate the mega wrapping up the last week in August, probably starting the week before, and then the mini is either the 16th, 17th, or 23rd, 24th. Hopefully they will get that schedule back up soon. Tried to contact Jeff before the show and get that schedule again, but must not have caught him in time. So hopefully that'll be up again soon. That is what we can look forward to. It's kind of looking like their standard schedule, honestly. I think this is very similar to the schedule they put up for Big Poker October or something like that, right? Or maybe Win on the Green. So this kind of feels like their standard series schedule now, which isn't the worst. I mean, doing the 400, the 500, and then the Park West Classic, I like it. So, not too bad. Oh, SLC says they've been posting it several times. Are you talking about the Legends? Because we went to the link on Jeff's Twitter, and it is no longer there. So
Yeah, I actually went to the website. I actually went to the Wayback Machine and tried to look at previous versions of the site, and I still couldn't find it.
Yep.
So,
but Sunday's 100K. That's good. I knew the first weekend they were going big with everything, so it's gonna be great. And yeah, it is gonna be a big line. And I don't know why they don't just grab more tables in another area just for the beginning part of the day. I mean, if you start this thing at 10, which it might, 10 or 11. Yeah, we noticed that the bike was revamping their website too. We think that's what happened. If you start this thing at 10 or 11, the cash room won't be full. Grab 10 tables in there, and then as people bust, give them their cash tables back. I don't know. So, it's under promotions now? Why would they do that? They moved it to promotions? All right, I'm gonna look into that real quick. Promotions.
thank God.
Yeah, I mean, you had an
Hey, if you
area of
guys
your
need-
website called tournaments, but no.
You guys want some website help? And I'm not a website designer, but I can help you with the structural navigation and user experience.
Tip number 1, don't make it so that I have to wait almost 10 seconds when I click on one of your links.
I actually think I clicked on promotions. I couldn't. Well, maybe I just missed it. I don't know.
Nope, they are correct. I see it. So I talked through it from memory, but hopefully it comes up here and we can quick show it to you before we get out of here. There it is. And also, this is like the longest. Can I not zoom in on this? What the heck? Hopefully, there we go.
Yeah, I think the animation is itself causing too much delay on. Yeah, just get rid of it. Just
here we
First
go.
website principle is make things super fast.
Yeah. Here you go. All right. So as we said, kickoff Friday, 50K guarantee. Saturday starts at 11, $200K guarantee, $400 buy-in. Sunday, 100K guarantee, $300 buy-in for 100K guarantee starting at 11. That's going to be fun. It's going to go long. And it's a 50K chip, so it's going to get fast later. And then Big 4 starts on Monday, just as I said. That Sunday will be the day 2 along with a 100K guarantee super stack. So that room is going to be packed that day as well. Hope they get extra tables. This is going to be a big series, guys. The one after the World Series. For some reason, that first weekend's always big, and then it depends on how people did at the series, I guess. Yep, so then they're going to do the 50-50. That starts on, it looks like they're actually going to start on Sunday afternoon will be the first flight for that. And that makes sense. They can't run 2 a day, I guess. There will be another super stack on that day. Oh, that's annoying. The 50-50 day 2 is on Monday, 8-4. However, no, 8-4, I don't think that's a holiday. So that's annoying. The 50-50 day 2 is on a Monday, but the Big 4 day 2 is on a Sunday. So at least there's that, I think. Let me make sure. Sears Bounty, Big 4, Sunday. Yeah, Big 4 day 2 is on Sunday. 50-50 is on Monday. I don't like that. We'll have to look into that. Park West Classic, 500K guarantee, which is, it's the same guarantee as the 500. It's kind of weird. That one has its day 2 on Sunday, so that's great. Mini Mega the week after with its day 2s on Sunday and Monday, the 17th and 18th. And then the Mega will be going on for the next week and a half. And then, yes, as I said, that wraps up on its day 2s being Sunday and Monday, 8/31 and 9/1. That's a day 2, right? Yep. With day 3 being on Tuesday and final day being on Wednesday. So, yep, there it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. No Way. They have moved the schedule under promotions. They don't have a tournament section anymore. Apparently, this is a promotion. It'd be nice if they gave us some promotions since it's under here, huh? They give us some promos. All right. Woo.
I'll
All
take
right.
a dim sum. I'll take a dim sum cart coupon.
Absolutely, that'd be fantastic. I don't think I'm playing the main this year. No way. But Derek is gonna play the main. What day are you playing? You gonna go for 1C? Get that extra day break?
Friday is Friday 1C? 4th of July? Whatever that is.
Friday,
Yeah.
I believe, is 1C because I think the first day 2 is Sunday, right?
Yep.
Yeah. If I went, I would probably drive up Friday and play Saturday, but I don't think I'm going. Yeah. So, but 1C is a smart move. I like that move. If I had more time,
it feels GTO.
Yeah, if I was more relaxed and free, I would. The only thing that would maybe make me nervous is that it is the 4th of July, so maybe 1B is the play. But yeah. All right. Cool.
Yeah, I think I need a shot at a Saturday or something because I'm getting buried here.
Yeah.
For this World Series already.
Right. That was my plan. Was if I had a lot of time to go up, play some Saddies, and get my way in. Because last year I did manage to win a regular Saddie, unlike you, Mr. Flip and Go. So.
I think I fired like 6 of those already, and I'm not even getting close. It's crazy.
Boo-hoo! You're so buried in
I
flipping
actually already said this that that was like my one time.
Yeah,
that thing.
Should have been like hitting a slot machine in a casino. Just never play again. Finish the winner.
Right. I should have just known better. It's so dumb for me to keep playing those.
All right. You owe the poker community a little on those. All right. All right. Let's head on into the roundup. All right. So during the series, we mostly have dailies happening. The dailies at Commerce have been killing it. Follow Kevin's Twitter for more info on the numbers. But like I had said, every weekend has been destroying it. This Saturday, and also, and look, no tournaments on the 4th of July for folks, just so you know. But their Saturday ones have been crushing the guarantee. Every time I've gone maybe 3 times this summer, and every Saturday event has almost tripled, sometimes almost 100, somewhere around like 70 and 100K prize pool every time. And then the Sunday one has always gotten over 50K prize pool. So this is just huge. And all of these tournaments get you points into the free roll promo they're doing. I looked, it's actually a long ways off in the distance. That free roll isn't until early September. So you have tons of time to get points. These $250 buy ones get you 2 points, and it only takes 10 points for the minimum entry. I have a feeling folks like Mr. George Helu are going to have a massive monster stack going into that free roll. But it only takes 5 entries, which you can get pretty easily on these weekends to get into the free roll. So recommend that. So these have been really fun events. Definitely recommend. Now, as Julie mentioned, the Lucky Lady is actually running a little series right now. They are doing the Liz Flint Summer Poker Classic. So they just are, what day is it? The first? I guess Julie must have final tabled, and I think she said got second in this one from Sunday, the No Limit Hold'em Bounty. So congrats there.
Nice work.
They're currently doing today I guess there's a Big O tournament, but there are No Limit Hold'em events all week with, it looks like, guarantees that are going to escalate Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 5K tomorrow, 10K Thursday, 20K Friday, and then 25K Saturday, all leading into next week's. That's weird. The Sunday Deep Stack doesn't have a guarantee that's easy to read. The following week on Tuesday will start their 100K guarantee, which is a $235 entry multi-flight event where they're guaranteeing $20,000 for first place. And looks like 1 in 8 bag, and you'll get a $1,000 double bag bonus, which isn't bad, not bad at all. Now that being said, I will say, first prize that Saturday at Commerce for the one day has been over 20. Let's see, well over 20,000, like every time. As I said, Kevin's been giving out over 25% of the prize pool the first place. But that being said, multi-day events, very fun. Double bag bonus, why not? It's not the worst, and it's a pretty cheap event, so that should be fun. And that's going to be day 2 on 7/13 on July 13th. So for those of us staying home from the main event, this could be a nice little fun event. I'm sure we'll see. Julie down there because she's having some success at the series, which means when you're winning, you keep going. I know I do. So, all right, very cool. Oh, yeah, and then over at Hollywood Park. Hollywood Park this week just has their regular events, the 5K. Let's see, wait, let me get to the weekend. The Friday, 8K bounty, the 10K bankroll builder Saturday and Sunday. So nothing strange going on there. However, it does look like they will be having their events on the 4th of July. Commerce will not be having 4th of July tournaments. So if you want to play at Hollywood Park, they are doing, it looks like they're doing the regular bounty event according to the schedule. So, oh, look at that. Blackpink's coming to SoFi Stadium. So if you're a K-pop fan, check it out. 7/13. If you don't make day 2 of the Lucky Lady event, you can go watch Blackpink. I think that's it. That's all I've got for happenings around town. What do you think, Derek? You got anything else for us?
Oh, lots of stuff going on. I think a bunch of people still out this series, so good luck to everybody playing the main and the other events, but then also good luck to people in town grinding these dailies, and kudos again to Kevin and the Commerce for just blowing it up over there.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. It's been a blast. It's been fun. Good luck to everyone out there playing, whether you're here in LA or whether you're heading up to the World Series. We've got both bases covered for the next week, so wherever you are, I'm sure we will see you at the tables.
At the tables, everyone.